Hello everybody and welcome back to the Breachers VRML. Today we're bringing you a very special broadcast. It is the Breachers VRMLCON Phoenix Qualifiers. We will be running a 6-team round-robin format, meaning every team will play every other team. We're going to have 5 rounds on both streams for you. This is the B stream. We got the A stream running as well simultaneously. So you'll have 10 matches you'll be able to watch of some of the players who you may see at VRMLCON in just a few days. I think it's pretty much a week until our LAN event, VRMLCON in Phoenix, Arizona. With me, obviously, I have Plague Doctor, who's going to be the one running the stream today. So as soon as he gets his mic fixed, I'm sure we will see him. But we're starting out with the phenomenal match we got for you all, Valor versus Ivy. 2 teams pulled together for this Phoenix qualifier. On Ivy, the full roster consists of Proxy, Ash, Kija, Plunge, Swift, and Sleetso. And on Valor, we have Crimson, Dusty, Red, Adapt, Wound, Jims, Fishy, and Jack Breacher.
We are here for the VRMLCON qualifiers. We're getting ready for IVI versus Valor. Getting ready to get started here for our first and only map. Reminder, it's a best of just one here, getting started very, very soon. I'm gonna tell the teams to get started. I'm very excited for this graphics. I just got off a trip here, and in about a week and some change, about 2 weeks, I'm going to be headed out to Arizona for the con. I am excited to see everyone. We're going to be seeing Gravy. I'm going to be seeing all the rest of the casters and all of you who are watching if you are coming out to the con. I'm just excited, honestly. I'm excited to see these teams coming in as well. IVI and Valor both running somewhat different rosters than you see on screen. We have different rosters than it looks like just because of LAN. Some members aren't going. For Valor, their LAN roster looks like Crimson, Dusty, Red, Adapt, Wound, Jims, Fishy, and Jack Breacher. IVI running Proxy, Ash, Kija, Plunge, Swift, and Sleeto. So not very different from their normal roster. Heading on to our first map, it's going to be Ship. Ship is a very interesting map to pick first because it is this type of format. They only have one map to play, so it seems like Valor as host picked the map, and it seems like IVI as the away team picked defense first. Probably a good choice for them.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what these teams can do in just one map. This initial round is going to be very important for their placement later in the round robin, as there are only 6 teams, 5 rounds, and it's going to be every single point going to matter to see if you can be in the top cut of 4 teams that get to go and play in Phoenix, Arizona at VRMLCON.
And we do have some very interesting changes. 6 teams trying to qualify for the LAN for VRML, and we actually have 2 wild cards. We have obviously Valor, IVI, Acer, F3, but we have Deathwish as well as one more that we're going to be seeing soon. Plunge immediately gets taken down by Mori. Jims Jesus saves, pushes straight in now, trying to go straight for a B push with the team trying to defend. Jim's getting stuck into an incendiary, gets taken down by Proxy. Sleetso in the vent, but Proxy placements is out. All I see is Red pushes in, gets taken out as well. It is suddenly just Crimson, the IGL, inside Engine, trying to take out Sleetso. Now it is a 1v2. He has very low health. He really has to 1-tap or 2-tap both of these players, and it's going to be extremely difficult on IVI, who has fantastic gunplay typically. Just in the back of the point, hoping to take these players down. Clearly not super happy with his players getting taken down, before he was able to push through, but it happens. Now getting info peeked out, Proxy hoping to go for a bit of a cheeky peek on the side. Just watching very carefully on the wall. They don't want to give up any health to Crimson.
Crimson insanely low, and it's going to be insanely hard to pull this off, especially as we see Proxy move over to the other side of A site, kind of creating a cross sight line for whenever Crimson decides to peek. Still a minute left on the clock, and Crimson is in control of EMP, so there's a chance that they might want to rotate here. Doubt that, but there is always that opportunity. Looks like Crimson's going to get a little more dangerous. Head over to the other side of Hatch, where you can possibly See Proxy. Crimson swings around into the site. Gets one and gets two! Crimson takes the first point for Valor. And with an EMP plant for a little extra bit of eco. Looking pretty good. Crimson clutching up for the first point for Valor here.
We're going to take a look at that replay. Coming straight on through, undaunted, pre-fires the wall, and then takes out the 2 players when they're not looking. That was a fantastic 2 kills from Crimson. It's going to bring them up, Valor 1-0 over their opponent. We have the switched. Valor up 1-0 over their opponent is going to be a fantastic position to be in on ship. Now, the plan here for IVI, I'm not quite sure. It seems like Valor's going to go for as much of a buy as they can. Typically, we see that from Valor. They get any amount of money, and they immediately go in trying to push their advantage, which has worked, has not. We'll see if it works out for them. We're seeing definitely a big buy for them as we see Marui coming out from Crimson going for some long distance, maybe wall pen shots. Lunge around on the side. Sleetso ready on the window, but Valor, so far, pretty strong against IVI from round 1.
That eco putting them in a very good advantage state heading into round number 2. We see a hatch open and Proxy immediately out there. Kija as well sitting out there. Looks like we're seeing a pretty split push coming out of Valor. A few on the window, a few on the other side towards green stairs as well. But a lot of Ivy is spread out in this green hallway here. We see a hatch drop. Frag comes out. Not going to connect. It connects actually onto Sleetso for a little bit. Adapt's going to take a lot of damage. But it looks like they're going to wait it out here as most of Ivy decides to rotate into A. Wall is now phoned by Crimson. It looks like we're waiting to blow it. Blown wall. Incendiary already out. Forces Proxy to the left side. Someone can swing and possibly take him out real quick.
Crimson just watching.
Of Valor still in this green room area.
Crimson's still watching the stairs with the Marui, just hoping to see if Swift comes through. But Swift rotates on through the connectors. Now inside the point, going for some wall bangs. Valor just watching these points extremely carefully. They have a minute and a half. They have time to get some good shots off. Proxy takes down Crimson. That's a Marui down for Valor. It's not great as Swift takes down Jims as well. Now a 4v3 favoring IVI as Valor is going to be in a bit of a worse position. They can't quite get to the Marui because of how open his body is. Mori now running around to all I see is red, picking up the Marui. Hoping to push through. Proxy really hungry for some kills straight out in the middle of the point. Swift having a great hold on the door. This is not a good situation for Valor to be in. Their IGL is down, and so is one of their fraggers.
Still in control of EMP, though. 50 seconds left on the clock. They're going to need to get into this site here and plant before they lose their slight lead. More going to take out Sleetso, though, and this could be the opening they need. Proxy with the refrag. Red takes out Swift, though, with a great push. Proxy tries to swing. Doesn't catch iAdapt, who looks like they're going to try to swing back in from this blown wall here onto A site. Adapt and Red.
30 seconds left. iAdapt takes down one. Proxy stuck behind bomb. He's going to get pushed in on. Takes out Red, but gets taken out by iAdapt with the Marui. And that is going to be Valor now up 2-0. They do still have their rifle in hand. This seems like a good outcome for them, Graphics.
Yeah, that rifle save was insanely huge for them, and now they're just even more ahead on their eco. They're now all going out on Vezins, it seems, while Ivy still trying to get a couple of rifle buys. I saw a Vezin there earlier, and I see one in there now, I think, as well as another rifle, but still on the back foot of eco because their gadgets and their leftover credits are very, very low going into round number 3 and possibly round 4 if they're not able to clean up here. It looks like Valor is going to have a lot more of an advantage from the eco side.
Yeah, now trying to head on through towards this next round. IVI's looking a little shaky, but they didn't have rifles in their hand just yet. They couldn't pick up the Marui. Now that they have rifles, especially, Graphics, with the recent changes to the game, almost the complete removal of play spacing. There's no hip firing or nothing. A lot of the work that teams have put in and players have put in over the last 2 years to refine their skills with play spacing, to refine their ability to blind fire or hip fire, has kind of gone out the window. So it's a bit of an equalizer for some players, and especially the top teams who so relied on that. It's a bit rough for these teams to maybe compensate. Now heading on
some
through.
big changes in the postseason, but It's what you need to get to VRMLCON, and these teams need to learn how to adapt to this new way of playing the game, especially if they want a chance at that VRMLCON cash prize. Adapt, gonna take out one and get the refrag. We see a couple of frags on the bottom area as well. As we see a kind of split push coming out of Valor. Still 4 members left alive, 3 left on Ivy, as they decide to retreat back into B site.
Proxy still inside medical, plunge as well up on the table. Valor has a tough push ahead of them, but now Proxy rotates out. Potential for a quick pick if IVI is not careful. Crimson goes for the incendiary. Unfortunately, it goes wrong onto the railing, with Proxy just holding down medical as hard as they possibly can. Crimson now heading towards it with the Marui. Proxy pushing straight up into the hall, gets takes out by Crimson. Plunge up on the desk, takes out one. Now it's just Kija on quest, stuck inside the point, does not have a stim. He's on a 1v3. Kija gets the wall blown directly next to him, and Mori takes out Kija on quest, winning Valor their 3rd round in a row, and also taking the IVI, the IVI economy straight down to the dumps. You can see they can't even afford a Vezin or Marui. They're going for Arils, trying to salvage their economy right now.
Especially while Valor is now fully kitted out, full rifles, full eco. I even see Adapt buying a Spectral along with his Marui. That's how much money they have to spend here, and they still have thousands of credits sitting in the back. So Valor right now in a very, very favorable position, and it's going to be tough for Ivy to come back from this.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but they'll get it done. We'll see if they can get it done. Proxy right now sitting pretty at 5-3. Rest of his team, unfortunately, only got about 1 and 2. Valor, again, just picking up some good kills. Now, 20 seconds until this next round. This is a pretty decisive round. If IVI can clutch this out with the Arils, Valor will be a little worse for wear. Their economy is still not where they can continue buying rifles constantly because they keep dying on these rounds. They still keep going down and down and down, but they can still afford if they keep winning. Very aggressive defense from the IVI stack. We've seen them from them quite a few times. They have multiple folks straight out in front of the point with Sleetso and Proxy watching on top of the engine here. Now just throwing some utility back and forth. All I see is Red. Not inside the building just yet. Sleetso pre-firing the doorway along with Kija. Now Red is inside with Kija really wanting to push around, going for some info peeks. Red is still up top. Valor a bit. Ooh! Red gets the 2K up on the engine. Well done. Mori takes down Proxy. Now it is just a 5v2 as Plunge and Swift are separated. One inside point, one on the flank. Swift hopes to push forward, but they know he's back there because of some pre-fires. Plunge, meanwhile, throwing some nades out, gets pushed in on immediately. Gets the 2K! Almost gets the 3K, and Mori cleans up on Swift, and that is a 4-0 lead for Valor. Barely squeezing out another win. And the important folks who had only 50 and 100 bucks, they stay up with their rifles, which means Adapt and Jim's Jesus Saves can buy their own rifles if they want to. This is a good situation for Valor currently. IVI is looking a bit weakened.
Yeah, especially with how that last round turned out. Now up 4-0 going into round 5, and as we know, this is a best of 1. There are no second chances in this first round of the Phoenix qualifier. So Ivy gonna have to kind of work a miracle here to get back against this Valor economy and this Valor team here, because they are sure as heck trying their hardest to play on stage in Arizona.
They really want to. I talked to some of the Valor folks previously, and they really want to get to that stage. I believe 1 or 2 of them won't be going to con if they don't qualify, just because it's expensive. So some folks aren't going if they don't qualify. So there's a lot riding on the line for the Valor team, along with IVI, I would say. Some teams, really want to qualify, and there's still a chance that some of these teams won't. Deathwish could surprise us pretty big with their results. We'll see. Now we do have a pretty normal hold for IVI here on the A point. They do have now 3 Vezins and a Rill, and then a Jesper save from Proxy. He's not going for much. Kija itching to push out into navigation, maybe take out the drone. He's ready for the push out. Now pushes straight out. Crimson crouches up the side on navigation. They now know there's nobody from IVI in navigation. Kija itching to rotate. He's just not quite sure when his moment is. Pushes out, takes out Crimson the IGL. that was a bit of a blunder from Valor, having a player straight out in the open. Kija just got a quick pick. Swift as well on the back does get seen. Drone gets taken down inside point. Now a 5v4 favoring IVI. Not a good situation to be in if you're Valor. But they push in, take out 2. Stuck in connector now. Proxy takes out 1. Slitzo takes out 2. It is now a 1v3, and Slitzo cleans it up with the 4K, giving now IVI their first point against Valor and a swing in the economy.
They are back in the game, Plague. And it is very important for them to be, because still at a very large deficit, Valor is still able to buy rifles basically for their whole squad. Ivy now finally getting a taste of the eco that Valor's had nearly all game. Something I want to draw attention to, though, is the use of flashbangs that we're seeing more and more often in this game. Obviously, I'm not sure if you're not aware, flashbangs, I'm pretty sure, were buffed in a patch after the season, or towards the end of the season, if not in the postseason of the Breachers VRML. So Flash is now a lot more viable for both sides, and we're seeing them come out a lot from both of these squads, and they're helping a ton. I think especially on this Valor side, we saw not last round, but the round before that, Plunge almost went on a devastating 3K, but was blinded by a flash and got taken out, and that kind of swung the round back to Valor's favor. So these now more intricate utilities, especially with the changes that have been made to all of them, it's gonna decide the tide of battle.
Valor going for an upstairs roam, heading maybe down the stairs towards everyone else, heading maybe towards 4. They do drone it out, checking upstairs just in case they don't want to leave any stone unturned. Valor still on a full buy. Unfortunately, IVI just barely not able to eke out a full buy along with some utility. They still have 3 Vezins and 2 Arils. First drone gets taken down. Clone does get seen in the corner with Slitzo leaning in, taking out the drone on the table. Valor has some work to do to get inside the building. Mori is inside, but a pretty heavy medical hold is going to be a tough ask for Valor to get through, especially with the clone down. That's really a bit of a red herring, so Slitzo can get some shots off before he gets seen.
Mori gonna go down to some wall bangs from Swift, and now Valor already down a member against this very, very tough medical hold that we're seeing coming out of Ivy here. Still, Crimson upstairs waiting for possibly, it seems like a hatch push to come in.
Are we gonna see a hatch drop from Valor?
A Valor hatch drop onto site?
No, I'm not quite sure what the plan is here for Valor. They're wasting a good bit of they're wasting a good bit of time here. I guess we see Red still in birthing, just making sure no one can push out, but IVI is pretty turtled onto the site right now. There's not much of a chance for Valor to get in. Looks like they're rotating. I guess they're rotating over towards bathroom hatch, over towards A. They're going to meet some resistance in the form of Slitzo and Kija, along with a clone on the stairs. Slitzo and Kija not hearing anything, but they're just ready in case Valor tries to push in. Now hatch is foamed. Standing on the hatch, they go straight forward. I Adapt gets taken on immediately by Slitzo with an incendiary going in, almost taking out Jims as well. Kija ready on the wall, gets taken out. Sorry, takes out 1. Slitzo gets the 2K. Now it's just Red trying to defend against this very strong defense. Flicks for the clone, doesn't get him down. Red doesn't have EMP in hand, unfortunately. He really is just at a bit of a disadvantage, having to push around, watch his flank, watch his front. It's not a good situation to be in.
They go down. Ivy now able to take their second round, and it looks like it's going to be closer than we thought, Plague.
I mean, I thought it was going to be a close match. I'm honestly surprised that Valor got up 4-2. I thought it was going to be a 3-3. But Valor really showing that they really want this spot. Now, the side switch. IVI going on to offense. We have Valor on defense. So far, our frontrunners have really been Slitzo and Crimson, along with Proxy. They've really been getting some good shots down, but IVI is still showing they can very much compete even after the updates, and so can Valor. I'm interested to see what the other matches look like as well, you know, if we're going to have a stomp or it's going to be extremely close, and I want to see how this goes. Valor, before, they did win the pistol round on offense. Meanwhile, IVI, unfortunately, did go down 4 rounds before claiming 2, but honestly, after these updates, it could go either way with these two teams. We could see IVI doing a split push onto navigation and getting some good shots down range with Crimson and iAdapt. Someone out in the open. They're going to get flanked out by one of these sides.
It looks like it might be James Kija towards the door here, not gonna head in. Swift. Looks like they're gonna try to swing a little bit towards navigation here. Gets smoked out, and it looks like now they're gonna have to change their strategy a little bit. We now see Plunge and Proxy swinging over towards...
And A rotate. Sorry, B rotate now.
B rotate.
Full B rotate.
And it looks like they're kind of somewhere uncontested. Never mind. Peace side full of members. Red takes out one. Plunge with the refrag. Proxy sitting on site. No EMP in hand. And it looks like they're going to get one. Mori not able to pick up the kill. Goes down to a refrag. Swift going to team kill Proxy in that process as well. It's now a 1v2. Sleetzo and Swift low while Crimson still at full HP. But they are the last one left remaining on Valor. Are they going to be able to swing and take this out? Sleetzo now sitting in the corner while Swift ready to hit the peak. Gets one.
Oh, no!
Swing around and takes out Swift! There's another point for Valor, and you were right, Blake. Gonna take the pistol round with an EMP defuse.
Look at this clip, gentlemen. You've got Crimson pushing straight after taking out Sleetzo and just pushes around, takes out Swift with the flick. I don't think Swift was expecting Crimson to be that close inside the point. Valor in a primo position currently, but we can't count IVI out just yet. IVI can get some fantastic shots down range. They just need to get some good guns in hand. Valor trying to push their advantage yet again. They do have no rifles this time, sticking with some Omens. They didn't quite get enough kills on each of them in order to get some rifles, so they're going for a bit of an Omen save. Not a bad plan.
Not at all, especially if they don't win this round. It still gives them enough economy to be able to get those gadgets and that utility that you desperately need in today's meta.
Yeah, and with that, you know, you can see the flash icon has changed on Sleetzo and Proxy. The reason why, you can bundle flashes now. Each of those flashes has 2 in them. You can see 2 flash. So they can have 4 flashes on 2 people without being, you know, having another util slot compromised. It looks like they aren't really going for that, though. It looks like IVI really wanted to capitalize on the fact that Valor doesn't have any rifles. They're just going for a straight-up Omen buy and sacrificing a good bit of utility.
Immediately going to set off the proc sensor, so now Valor aware of this possible green hallway push, and it looks like they are going to stick. Kija kind of trying to bait out anybody who may be here. With the drone in as well, smoke comes out, and it looks like Valor is still undetected in their defensive positionings. iAdapt, Crimson, and Jims waiting in medical for that eventual, presumably medical push, as we see a lot of IVI rotating towards that exact area.
Valor just going for a very defensive spot here, other than iAdapt behind the green box, and it's going to be rough for iAdapt if they do throw out an incendiary. Crimson pushing straight up does get flashed out, but nearly takes down 1. Swift takes down 2 with Plunge taking iAdapt. That's a rough 5v3 for Valor, with Mori stuck on the other side of the hall, is getting wall banged out on medical. Mori on the lean peak. Home take out 1. Tries to take out Plunge, gets taken out by Sleetzo instead, and now it is just Red getting taken out behind the cooler. That is a flawless from IVI, a fantastic pickup for the IVI stack, and well done for these players.
Yeah, IVI still in this game. They still want to get there, and they are still fighting for it. Now, economy in the favor of IVI, and we aren't seeing any rifles here, which is a little shocking to me, but their eco might not be at that level yet. Also might have not just had the chance to buy them. We also have Valor seemingly going back to Spectrals and going on a Spectral save, even though all of them can buy SMGs. So it looks like they're trying to go back to that pistol round strategy, because that's where they've been taking rounds play consistently.
Well, that's the play for them here, Gravix, because if you look at it, IVI had a flawless, so they, you know, got all of their money there. They got all of their SMGs, but they couldn't quite afford Vezins or Maruris. So what Valor's betting on is that IVI wants Vezins or Maruris. They're going to stay on the SMGs. So Valor just goes, all right, we'll save. That way both teams can have rifles rather than just one team. They're trying to even out the playing field between the two. And we're seeing that with their Spectrals going for some very interesting roams. Jim's all the way upstairs on the door. He's not going to be able to see them if he opens this up, but he now rotates out, goes to the lean peek, gets taken out by Proxy immediately. Crimson leans out, takes down one, with Crimson taking down another, but that is immediately 4 Valor players down. Now it's just I Adapt against 2 full health IVI players and one that's relatively low, but now gets a stim down. I Adapt tries to take down Plunge, can't quite get it down, and that's going to be a very quick round win for IVI. We're most likely going to see a full buy on both sides because of this. IVI definitely does have the better economy currently. But, yes, both sides able to get rifles, except for, actually, Proxy can't quite get down a rifle. He's stuck on a, probably an Arill. Meanwhile, all of Valor going for a full buy. Bit of a risky buy here, Gravix. If they lose this round, they're going to be down in the dumps for economy. They're not going to be able to get much at all.
This is a very, very important round for both squads, especially Valor, though, as you were saying. They now have, like, no credits, so they are really banking on a round win here. That would take them to 6, and that would guarantee a tiebreaker at minimum for them, if not a victory. But Ivy now at 4 round wins to 5 round wins for Valor, so it has now become insanely close. Never would have expected that the way the first round was going. But both teams with rifles, fully kitted out with gadgets and all. Ivy still with a little advantage in the safety bubble and their eco, but the teams are basically on even ground, Plague, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out, and it looks like we're going to start by taking it slow with Sleet, so being the only one out of the pack for IVI, as they're the one to break a wall. Try to get some shots off, but they're not going to get hit by Crimson, as the rest of the team kind of waits, presumably for Sleetso's go-ahead, to say that it's all clear, but they do not see iAdapt and Jim sitting there waiting in the hallway as soon as they're able to make it through medical.
Red getting lured up the stairs by Swift with some shots. Kija takes down Red. Unfortunately, just wasn't ready with that trigger finger. Sleetso takes down Crimson. That's an immediate 5v3 IVI picking up some steam now that they have rifles in their hands. This is what I was talking about. You can't really predict the results of these matches until they end. Proxy backs up because of the incendiary. Adapt behind the box. Not a good situation, especially with an incendiary going down. Doesn't matter though. iAdapt prevails. Takes down one. Kija throwing in another flash. iAdapt gets massacred by Proxy along with Jims, and then Mori cleans up Plunge. Sorry, Plunge cleans up Mori. That is now a 5v5 or 5-5 score, and also IVI is going to be dominantly up on money. It looks like Valor may be having to go for a bit of a save. They can't really go for much of a lockout on the other side.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go for SMGs and seemingly a rifle as well coming out of iAdapt. So they are still saving a little bit of eco. They could buy rifles for their next round, which there is guaranteed to be. It looks like we are going to see either a win or a tiebreaker. It's round 11, and it's tied 5-5. Valor pulls this out, it will be 1, slightly a miracle based on their eco. They don't have much utility to their name, while Ivy, kitted out completely, they are living lavishly. But 2, it would also somewhat guarantee a tiebreaker unless they're able to pull out a second round, which would then swing it back to Valor's favor and give them the first pivotal point in this round-robin format.
Yeah, and I have to say, it feels like Valor is somewhat changing their strategy here. We've seen them go for some pretty standard holds, but now we see Crimson all the way on the bottom floor and Mori on second floor. Crimson really going for some odd holds. Could not work out. IVI really like storming these points, and I mean, we'll see if it goes. We saw a B rotate from IVI when they met Resistance over on A. We may see that come out again. Sleetso up on the window. Actually does get taken down by Crimson. That's a Vezin down for the IVI stack, and they have to go get the EMP from his body. EMP like grabs Stim on his body as well. Kija getting it in hand, but now that's an immediate 5v4. However, Valor does not have any stims. Crimson cannot heal up unless they loot some bodies. iAdapt gets taken down by Proxy. Proxy gets taken down in return. Plunge pushing up with that Vezin. Needs to get some good shots off. As Kija pushes straight in, Jims might get hit on both sides. on the flank. Jim's trying to go for some good shots. Can't quite get anyone down as Plunge takes out Mori. Kija takes down Jims. Now it is just Crimson at 2 health, having to go for a 1v3. Takes out Plunge. Takes out Swift. Has to go for one more. Kija flashing him out. Kija has a second flash as well. Crimson is not flashed out, however. Goes for a pre-fire and gets the clutch off! What a clutch for Valor!
Crimson does it again with an insane clutch on the Valor side, putting them up to 6 and now putting Ivy in a pressure situation, because if they're not able to pull out this round, first round goes to Valor. We don't see a tiebreaker. We move on to round 2, Plague.
There is no round 2, Graphics. It's a one and done.
Oh, I mean round 2 of the round robin, not a match 2. Round 2
yes.
of the round robin.
Yeah,
Again,
no,
best of 1 format. This is it, coming down to the wire for both of these squads in this all-important first round of the round robin.
I am super excited to see what these teams can do. We've got 25 seconds left in the bye phase. We're seeing IVI setting up for a push outside. Their economy is still going strong, almost a full buy, but Slitzo just barely not able to eke it out. He's got a rill in hand. Meanwhile, Valor going for a full buy. They're buying as much as they can. Not a lot of utility. Meanwhile, IVI has double stims, but we've seen Valor clutch these things out. Crimson really having that clutch factor in this matchup, but so has Slitzo, so has Swift, and everyone else on IVI. We've seen some great rounds on both sides. Red going for a cheeky nade outside, pushing Proxy in, with the clone now getting taken down. Both teams very cautious on their holds. Now seeing a drone in. Plunge gets his drone taken down. Slitzo takes down the door blocker. We've got 4 players on one side. Meanwhile, Jims is in red just in case. One up top, just making sure no one can peek out. Proxy and Swift both just holding down this wall break. Meanwhile, Red throws in a smoke. They don't want any information to be released at all. Clone on the side will also distract IVI too. Valor getting a very strong hold on their hallways, but we may see a rotate from the IVI stack. No one's taken down. No one's even taken shots yet.
Nobody's moved an inch, Plague. We're finally seeing a couple of flashes come out. Takes out Red and Slitzo. Takes some damage. Plunge takes it. Adapt Crimson with the Kija. Proxy takes Crimson on the refrag. And now we're seeing a game. Red gonna try to take out... Whoa! Takes out 3! Red does take out 3. It's now a 2v1. And Jim gets it. Valor, 7-5, takes the first round of the round robin over Ivy.
Red pushing up with a beautiful 3K, gets taken out by Swift, but that secures the win for his team. Valor getting out this first round. Extremely, extremely well done on both sides. We'll be back, folks, with round 2 of the round robin after a short intermission. We'll see you all there.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Wow.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the VRMLCON qualifiers for Breachers. We are back here for the matchup between Spire and Valor. Spire just got out a 7-1 victory over Deathwish, one of the other teams in our qualifiers here. So they're running on a pretty high victory. They're going up against Valor now, who just eked out, just got a fantastic victory against IVI, 7-5 victory for Valor over IVI. So they're running pretty hot right now. They actually just got off the match on ship. Now they are on ship again, with the Spire side, I believe, choosing this. Valor choosing offense as their first side, as they were not host. So we will see how this goes. Looks like Spire's a bit of a hodgepodge team. They were not a normal season team. We've got Mr. Hello Speed, Chewy, GT Reaper, Flare, Hex, L Voids, Jagai, and Duo Core. We'll see how this works out. Can they get some good victories down, or will they be pushed out of Con by Valor?
Let's see what's happened. Obviously, both of these teams 1-0 in our round robin overall standings. So both teams in a very favorable position, and this is not going to be too much to tank them in the overall round robin standings, but still a very important game, somewhat giving them a very high chance of being in Con. So whatever team wins here, going to be very important for them to try their hardest. Seen a lot of instants going out of Flash as well, but not going to catch anybody. Just a little bit of damage on Jims and Flare.
Flare pretty low on back hall. Does get some good shots off on flank, but gets taken out by Jims. Meanwhile, wall is now foamed on both sides. They're ready to blow both walls as Danger Daniel is stuck in the back of the point. Mr. Hello Speed does take down Jims over on the flank, hoping to push up and push their advantage, but Red pushes in with I Adapt, takes out one, gets taken out by Danger Daniel. That leaves Crimson with the responsibility of clutching yet again. Now
this is the third time. This is nearly the third time he's had to clutch this round robin tournament. EMP on the wall, but not completely planted yet. Swings out, gets one in Danger Daniel. It's now a 1v1 scenario, both at near full HP. Another tap on the EMP. Crimson expects them to rotate right. Seemingly gonna rotate left, possibly. Another tap on the EMP. Changes up. Turning Mr. Hello Speed, and Mr. Hello Speed take out Crimson, getting the first point to Spire. Upsetting Valor, who seem to be the favorites heading into this matchup, but Spire able to take the first point over the team who has been excelling in their pistol rounds.
Well done to Spire. That is a great pickup for them, and almost what it feels like to me is that maybe Valor wasn't expecting, you know, a team that... Let me say this. IVI has plays that they do that Valor has seen quite a few times. They have plays that Valor knows how to counteract. When it comes to a team like Spire, they haven't seen Spire play. They may have seen some of these players, but they haven't seen Spire play as a team, and that could go to Spire's advantage, just getting some good surprises off, but how long will that last? Flare holding onto a Knut upstairs, hoping to get some good shots off. We'll see if he can.
Yeah, just to address the chat, Spire is a team seemingly made specifically for VRMLCON of players who want to play and have a chance to go on stage, but didn't necessarily have their whole team from the regular season. So this is kind of a hodgepodge of players. We seemingly have another team like that in, they're called Deathwish, coming in as well to the VRMLCON Phoenix qualifiers. So a couple of hodgepodge teams with some very good players, kind of throwing off the vets here from Valor, as we already see Adapt taking half of their health away in this hallway skirmish as we get started with round number 2.
Danger Daniel takes down Jims immediately. That's a great pickup. Mr. Hello Speed does get flashed out, but not really any recourse from Valor. They don't push up with the flash. Doesn't help them too much as Danger Daniel takes out another. Red takes down one, but gets taken out in return as Mr. Hello Speed pushes in, gets taken out, but it is now up again to Crimson, getting pushed from behind by Flare with the shotgun. Doesn't take him down. Crimson really wanting a stim, can't quite get one. Having to push back around towards the rest of his team's bodies, but Danger Daniel over on the wall has no sound cues, but Crimson doesn't know where Danger Daniel is either. All it would take is Danger Daniel hears these sound cues, now pushes around, goes for the Crimson, going for...
Oh!
Why are we going
The
for the...
unfortunate drone, a misplay. I think that was a misplay.
That was a big
overall.
misplay. Yeah.
From Crimson, literally throwing the round because Danger Daniel saw that drone and said, oh, he's droning, he's inactive, let's kill him. And that gets Spire the second point, so Valor with some misplays here, already putting them on the back foot in eco and in probably morale. Crimson, the clutch god from last game, seemingly not able to do it again, losing 2 rounds where he kind of needed to clutch. And it just isn't clicking for him this game. They're back on ship. It's basically the same scenario, just a different team. And that just goes to show, do not count out Spire. I mean, these teams may seem to be the underdogs going in, but these guys can hold a candle to the best.
Yeah, and it's odd to me why... I'm not sure why Crimson went for that late round drone. He's on a 1v1, and he doesn't know where the guy is. He can't cancel the drone immediately, so it's going to be something where he could just push straight up. It seems to be just a bit of a blunder, unfortunately, but I think Valor can recover if they just get some good rounds off. We'll see if it's a similar situation as them against the IVI. We're seeing Danger now pushing back towards the B point. Flashes coming in from Valor. They seem to be now pushing straight forward. We see procs going off inside Red immediately. Some flashes going on along with some more utility. Double flash. Red is inside point. Takes down 2 with an Omen. Hex stuck in the vent gets taken down by Jims. Mori has EMP. He needs to get that plant down. Voids is outside the wall. It's a very heavy hold on point from the Valor squad, as well as an incendiary in point inside the connector. Now, Mr. Hello Speed and Voids both holding onto a Vezin. Look to push up, but it is a very good situation for Valor. Mr. Hello Speed going for just some good shots off. If I'm Mr. Hello Speed and Voids, I might just save these Vezins, honestly. They've got a 5-person hold on point, but they're really committed to this push.
I mean, they are up 2 rounds, and the eco for Valor isn't the best, so they kind of have a little bit of logic here, but it is definitely smarter to save, and it looks like that's what they seem to be doing after the 5 members of Valor, who are all sitting on B site, throw their bullets at the door. And it looks like EMP getting defused. They're all going to rush out. Tries to take him out. Jims takes out Void. This is all for eco at this point. EMP goes off. Mr. Hello Speed swings, and that's going to be it. Valor's still able to take out those Vezins that were sitting on the Spire squad, and they're able to take back a point and get their hands on a bunch of Vezins, which is vital for their economy, because now they're up in numbers and they're up in guns without having to buy, which is very, very, very important for this Valor squad. Now, Spire gonna have to go with some SMG plays. I see an RCP, I see a couple Omens coming through, and a Spectral, and it seems like Void is still deciding on what to buy on his. But right now, Valor has turned the tides pretty significantly in the eco game.
Now trying to get into the... they're really just trying to get some good rounds down. Valor now picking up some good amount of rifles. Unfortunately, we did see Jims get TK'd by his teammates, which is not a good situation you want to be in. But they got it back. Now a rifle in hand on both sides, but not as much as they would really want. It looks like we just have Omens and Vipers over on the Spire side. They're not in as good of a situation as they were previously.
It looks like we are going to see a little bit of a slower push. Clone sitting on the window, which is very nice for them, but we're going to see a push coming in over towards Medical, where there aren't many players from Spire sitting in. So we're going to see a pretty free push from Valor here as we're taking a slow start to round number 4.
Very minimal defensive utility over on the Spire side towards Birthing, and where Valor would normally push. They seem to be pulling back towards the points quite a bit more. We do see some trips in Medical that may take some players out if they're not droned out correctly because of how hidden they are on the floor, but Spire just really turtling in these points. They don't want to give any information up. Drone now coming through on Medical. May not have seen the trips. Jim's now pushing out. We go for a flash into Medical with Mr. Hello Speed over on the bathroom. He does not get seen either. Red does hear the trips, takes them out. Mr. Hello Speed now rotating through with the Omen. Valor really want to get into that point, but they don't quite have any recourse to get in just yet as a nade goes out. Some good utility goes out on both sides. Mr. Hello Speed takes this as his chance as Mori does take out Danger Daniel. Mr. Hello Speed is on the back line, but Red pushes up, takes him out. This is going to be some blind fire on both sides. Jims gets the EMP down. Now it is all up to Hex to take out these 4 Valor players. Takes down 1, but gets taken down by the others. 2-2. Valor in a much better situation than they were before.
Yeah, Valor seemingly turned it around those rifle rounds. Spire kind of needed those rifles seemingly to succeed, and they lost them in a very pivotal round. Now heading into round 5 towards the end of the half here. Not the last round, but pretty darn close. We do have a tie game, so both teams proving that they can keep up with each other. But the question is, who can continue executing at this high level, especially at an eco deficit like we see Spire at right now. A couple of Essence coming out, which is very good for their squad, but we also see a couple of SMGs as well, and no utility except for Flare, who grabs a frag and an instant and maybe a stim from Danger Daniel. But right now, Eco not looking best for the Spire squad, and Crimson, or Valor, sorry, sitting pretty on economy.
Now trying to get through on these. It looks like we're going for Crimson out on the side with the Marui. We do have multiple rifles over on the Spire side, but is it a little late? 2-2. Mr. Hello Speed may try to actually rotate out. I'm not sure. He's on back haul along with Voids. Very heavy back haul hold, actually, as Voids, Flare, and Hello Speed are all on this back. Mori does see Voids, tries to take him out, can't quite get it down. Mori throwing out an Incendiary as well to block off any hope of pushing as Mori pushes up, but there could still be a push if they're not careful. Voids goes through the vent. Valor going for a very quick push on the A before the Incendiary comes down. Flare really wants to push out of this door blocker, but Mori is just waiting for that door blocker to open. He's itching to go through it. As soon as Flare opens that door blocker, I think Mori's just through it.
Mori also sitting cloaked, but while this is happening...
Opens up, pushes straight in, takes out Flare. That's another player down. Now 4 players left over on the Spire side as Hex pushes around out in the open. iAdapt does not have EMP. Not much recourse for these players until pushes in as iAdapt takes out 2. That's iAdapt taking out 3 for a 3K, and that is a Valor 3-2 win.
Yeah, Valor just being dominant with their gunplay there, and an amazing push, sweeps in, covers every corner, and just wipes out the Spire squad with little to no damage. So, Valor definitely showing their experience and expertise as a team with a very controlled and coordinated push to get that 3rd point in round number 5. Now, heading into round number 6, economy a little bit worse because of that big buy from Spire. Now, all having to go SMGs, a couple of Maruis and a Cadillo coming out as well. But again, this Valor squad just overstacked on economy. We see iAdapt and Crimson with 7k credits now. So they are sitting pretty, unfortunately. It is the last round of the half, so they can't do much with it. But it just shows their dominance in this back half of the first half. Let's say the second quarter of the game.
Looks like iAdapt just with his money messing around, holding up some finalist skins from the previous season, maybe begging for this season's one, but we'll see if it happens. Now, Hatch is open on navigation. Pretty heavy B hold from the Spire side. Danger Daniel is downstairs. Voids and Hex holding down A for their team with Flare and Hello Speed. Going for actually possibly a flank, a 2-person flank. Mori is on cloak. Drone goes back into the back hall as Flare peeks out. Mori takes him down immediately with Hello Speed, maybe hoping to go for possibly a refrag as he pushes up, hoping to at least loot the body. But Mori is on a very definitive backline hold with Jims. It's going to get a very nasty surprise if Hello Speed comes even a step beyond that doorway. Dances for the drone for some reason. I suppose just emoting on the Valor droner, but we're seeing Danger Daniel coming up. Now backline being pushed in on us. Hex throws some utility out. Jims uses saves, returns utility of his own with a flash in the backline as Jims pushes straight in. Hex pushing onto the Incendiary as Jims takes him out. Now Danger Daniel pushing up in the Valor backline. Crimson is none the wiser. He's about to get taken out from the side. Gets taken out. EMP down in Hall, but Mori can't get the refrag. Now it is just Mr. Hello Speed on the backline. Does get taken out. That could have been real bad for Valor if Crimson was any farther away, but good thing for them. He was not. 4-2 for Valor. Now going back to pistol round with a side switch. I want to take a quick look. I got a clip of him dancing for that drone. I mean, you have to.
Do you have some smooth moves?
There's some moves there. But now it's looking good for Valor, but it's not as good as it could. It's still really anyone's game here if Spire can just clutch up a few more rounds.
If you know anything about Breachers, you know it's not over until it's over. We've seen insane comebacks from both sides before. I mean, we could very well see it here out of Spire today. We
could. I mean, looking at the scoreboards currently, Jim's at 7-4, 8-3 from Red. 7-5 from Danger Daniel is really good. 5-5 as well from Hello Speed is good as well. They're doing well overall. We'll see if they can clutch up. I think Valor is really warmed up on ship currently, which is not working in Spire's favor. Now, looking to push through. Spire very, very careful about their push in. Looks like they're droning over into Birthing. Gets taken out immediately by Crimson on their drone hold. Hex was droning all the way back in spawn. Unfortunately, now has to run all the way up to his team, shooting out bottom floor window. Now Birthing going to get pushed in on soon. I adapt behind the box, may get in send out, but this round it doesn't seem likely. They do have 2 flashes on Flare, but that's it. 2 incendiaries, 2 flashes, 2 foams. They're going to go for double wall foams rather than having a single foam and foaming both walls with that. Hello Speed on a window lean. Jims goes for a bit of just a info peek out. Does know there's someone on the window, but not quite sure who. I adapt gets taken out by a perfect incendiary onto the back of the box as Crimson pushes up with the smoke in front of him. Takes out Voids without taking any damage of his own as Hex pushes out into the smoke. Tries to go for some bangs. Takes out one as Danger Daniel takes out Crimson. All I see is Red going for some utility into the back line of Danger Daniel. Hex in Birthing still. Just going for some blind fire shots. 4v3, now 3v3. Favoring no one. Health-wise, Valor is favored just a smidge, but not by much. Now Danger Daniel gets some shots taken down on him. Valor is really overextended. They would benefit possibly from backing up just a little bit, as Mori and Jims both are on this side. Flare goes for the flash in, not realizing that both of these Valor players are on this side still. They didn't even care about that hatch getting blown.
Yeah, Flare now in a pretty bad situation. It's both of them swing, and Jims takes out Flare, bringing it 5-2 for Valor over Spire in the first round of the second half. And it's looking pretty dang good for Valor, and I just gotta wonder where Spire's morale is at this point. I mean, they were probably feeling good going into the beginning, and then just after that, it's been going pretty far down.
Yeah, it has been, unfortunately. But, you know, they can still get this back. It'll just take some good gameplay from the Spire side. I think they can get it done, especially Danger Daniel just picking up a lot more kills. They can get some good clutches down. It'll just take some good work. Now on Omens, they do have a Spectral from Danger Daniel. Meanwhile, Valor as well, not on any rifles. They've still had some trouble affording some rifles, so they go to some SMGs and pistols. Bit of a mix.
Yeah, they're trying their hardest to stay in this game, but they might just be getting outclassed by Valor here. It looks like they are going for mostly an SMG buy, and their buy team actually pretty similar for this round here, which is very interesting to see out of Valor. But again, if they take this round, they force at least a tiebreaker and take themselves to match point. So let's see what happens here. Danger Daniel already foaming up the outside wall here as Spire gets ready to push in. Wall gets blown, and so does a window.
Now pushing through. Ooh. Crimson upstairs on the lean out. Leans out, takes out Voids, and doesn't take any damage of his own. That's a great result for that lean. A very risky one, but it worked out. Crimson now returning back towards stairs. Did what he had to do. Trips up on the wall as well. I don't think there's a drone over on the Spire side. That's really not a good situation for them. They're going to have some difficulty pushing up. Crimson pushing all the way up towards the wall. Tries to take out Flare. Does get him down. Danger Daniel still stuck in the back hall. Doesn't have a lot of recourse. Takes out Crimson, however, which is a fantastic pickup. Mori as well. We need to not see an overextension. Doesn't matter. There's IDAP takes out Danger Daniel with a nade. Mr. Hello Speed takes down Mori. Bit overextended as he's inside the point, but Red gets the kill off on Mr. Hello Speed, who rotated around towards A. That is a 6-2 lead for Valor. There's a potential for a 7-2 lockout. Spire has to get 4 rounds in a row to tie and then pick up overtime. That's not a situation you want to be in, especially going against Valor, who's a top 3, top 4 team very, very consistently.
Yeah, not the best spot to be in if you are Spire here, but they have to do all they can to try to get a point here and build their way back. It's round 9. They need to win 4 more rounds to tie it up here and head to a tiebreaker. Personally, I don't see that in the cards. I think Valor could keep playing the way they have been, but again, this is Breachers. Anything can change on a dime. And it looks like we're seeing rifles coming out from both squads, so this could be possible for Spire.
Yeah, we're seeing 2 Maruris and a Vezin. Good pickup for them, as well as an Aril on Voids. They're going for everything they can. There's no point in saving. We're seeing that now as they buy every little bit of utility they can. Jim's on the back line, pretty far up for a flank. Crimson hoping to get anyone rotating onto the window. He might take out Flare if Flare's not careful. The advantage here for Valor, having just played this map, is none of the Spire teams know, Spire players know what they did against IVI, so they don't know that Crimson's going to walk out that window. They don't know anything like that because they couldn't watch that last match they were actively playing. Now, going for the same rotate that IVI did after a similar result, but Valor has no one defending B at all. This might be a bit of a rude awakening for Valor, as they have no utility on it either. Now, fully inside the B point, goes for some incendiaries. All I see is Red takes down Hex, but he's on a 1v5, is now flashed out as well. 1v3. Voids does get EMP down without issue. Now rotating out. Red gets taken out by a great shot from Mr. Hello Speed, who gets refragged by iAdapt. Danger Daniel watching the corner. Ooh, iAdapt barely doesn't get shot by Danger Daniel. Does go for the free fire. Takes down one. Now it's just Voids holding them off on a 1v4. Does get taken down. Now they just have to get the EMP defused, and Valor almost nades themselves. Interesting.
But it
I would
looks
say
like,
just get this done. Just
considering their misplays in the beginning, Valor still wrapping up round number 2 of the round robin with a 7-2 victory over Spire. They are now 2-0 in the overall scoring of the round robin, so Valor in a very, very nice spot to go to VRMLCON. We are aware of some other scores as well, so showing that Acer going IVI going 7-0 against F3, now 1-1. F3 I'm pretty sure is 0-2, and seemingly Acer has won as well, putting them at 2-0, but we'll have to confirm that. Keep your eyes on the Talon's bracket that I have posted in the chat. I posted that a little earlier. If you guys need to see that, it's right there, and we will see you after this short break for round number 3.
We'll be back after a short break for our next round. Reminder, round out of 6. Every team playing every team. We'll be here for another about hour and a half, maybe 2.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point. Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point. Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy. Getting the 2K.
Match point.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Breachers VRMLCON Qualifiers. We are here with Spire versus IVI. This is the second stream. Main stream is on Acer versus Valor. F3 versus Deathwish will not be casted as Deathwish has actually dropped out of the qualifiers. So F3 does get a bye round. Good for them. But the other teams still aren't that bad off. We've seen Spire, unfortunately, just lose to Valor 7-2. IVI took a very decisive victory over F3 with a 7-0 victory. That is insane to see. Especially, you know, F3 did especially well, and F3, with their main roster, obviously, beat IVI on the in the main season. So that is just a very interesting swap. I think IVI is really bringing their A game to these qualifiers. They do not want to get eliminated, and it looks like they probably won't. They're currently on a very good run so far, other than getting taken down by Valor. Valor is currently undefeated, but that might change if Acer takes them down.
We'll see what happens here, but we are starting off on Factory, and Ivy with a strong offense already, looking to push into A site here from Blue Hallway. Wall's not foamed yet, which is very interesting, but it looks like that's what Proxy is going to do in just a second. Wall gets blown on the other side towards A site as well. Sleetso takes out Danger Daniel as we see an instant come out gating Swift. Some flashes come out. Mr. Hello Speed goes blind for just a second, but he's okay. Swings around, gets Proxy, and brings it to a 3v4. Plunge at half health, takes another one. It goes down to Mr. Hello Speed. Plunge at half health, Hex at just below a quarter. A health left. Same with Ash and Swift. Now going to take a little bit of damage, but takes out Hex. It's a 2v2. Mr. Hello Speed goes on the plunge. It's a 2v1. Void is the last one left alive on the Spire squad. EMP is down, planted, and gonna go off in a second, so they need to get over there and and defuse as soon as possible. Plunge gonna try to swing out, but Voids looks like they're just gonna save as EMP. Just a second here. Goes off. Void's last one left, not able to defuse, and now it's just gonna 1v1 and take out Plunge for the small eco
But
boost.
just too late. No, and that's the thing, Graphics. He's not going for the save. He just wants to deny some economy for IVI, but it's just not enough. They're able to get some Arills going. IVI hoping to really get some good shots downrange, and especially probably fired up from the little bit of body shooting that looks like happened on that last one. The disrespect, obviously, with that 2K, but it wasn't enough for Spire to win that round. They're trying to get on through. IVI going all the way up to roof, maybe rotating around to the other side over to B. I'm curious what the push is going to be for IVI here on middle floor. Most likely going to be a standard hatch play, possibly pushing into the B window if they want to go especially quickly. But Graphics, what do you think we're going to be seeing?
I mean, right now, I think Ivy definitely the favorites, especially after that 7-0 onto F3. So right now, I'm thinking we're going to see Ivy with a very strategic, coordinated push against this ragtag Spire squad. And it looks, I feel that they're going to be dominating, but it seems like we're going to be seeing a hatch push right into B and orange stairs, as is common for many of these high-level teams.
Yep, hatch push straight into A. As Hex is behind bomb, Voids is over on the other side. They're hoping to just get these down. Very quick stairs rotate from Sleetso, Proxy, and Ash. Now pushing through. It looks like they're all practicing over on their quests because of LAN. We have Proxy, Ash on quest. We have Swift on quest, Plunge on quest, most likely, and Sleetso on quest, most likely. They probably just didn't change their names. Hex waiting beside bomb. Ash really wanting to push in, but he's leaving himself down for now. They're ready to blow wall, and hatch is already blown. Now wall is down. Util goes through. Voids gets pushed into the back hole. Hex still behind bomb, but he gets seen. Swift takes him down. Going for plant on the side of the vending machine. This is an evil, evil plant spot when it comes to trying to defuse it, especially if you're downstairs like Mr. Hello Speed and Danger Daniel. IVI fully rotating upstairs, knowing there is not much of a chance for the these players to get the defuse off. Slitzo on Repel. Danger Daniel tries to go outside, doesn't see anyone on the window. Mr. Hello Speed doesn't know where EMP is. I don't think they know it's on the side of the vending machine. They assume it's in the normal spot. Now rotating upstairs, Danger Daniel does get flashed out. Mr. Hello Speed rotates upstairs, takes down one, but gets taken down. Now taking down Danger Daniel, and that is going to be it. IVI is now up 2-0 over Spire.
And it's a pretty dominant 2-0 as well. Only 2 members going down while the rest of Spire not able to do much against this IV squad. And now they're set up with rifles while Spire is still sitting with SMGs. We do see a couple of Marus and a Vezin come out, so they're not fully in the depths, but right now their eco not looking the best compared to this IV squad.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Now, they could still get it back. We've seen Spire. I mean, they got 7-1 against Deathwish. They got 2-7 against Valor. They could still get this back, but IVI really seems to be playing on their A game. They do not want to lose any rounds at all, and I don't blame them. Because right now, if we're looking at F3's score currently, F3 has the potential to just not make it to LAN if they lose anymore. If F3 loses versus Valor on the next one, they might just lose based off the fact they fought these teams. You know, Spire, as much as they're losing 2-0, they lost 7-2. They had a 7-1 victory against Deathwish, which could be the edge they need.
We will just have to see what happens in the pivotal Spire versus F3 match next round. But right now, match at hand, Ivy up 2-0, heading in towards B site from Orange Connector. Another very normal push from these high-level teams. Danger Daniel sitting and lying in wait for somebody to come out. Asher on Quest could be the one, but it looks like they're not pushing out just yet. I know a lot of teams really do like to wait for the perfect time before moving into B site. Wall is blown, so now a couple of more angles opened up for this Ivy squad. Seems like we're going to be waiting towards a standstill. Mr. Hello Speed does go down to Proxy at the wall bangs, and now Ivy at a one-man advantage.
Slitzo over in Janitor checking the back means that they can't really get a flank off. Danger Daniel is inside Wooden Cubby, so he can't really leave because of the Incendiary. Now a full A push with Voids. Does get taken down by Proxy as X takes down one, but Ash on Quest takes down Hex, then takes out himself by accidental TK. Then Plunge takes down Danger Daniel. That's now a 3-0 lead for IVI, but they do lose 2 players, which is going to be probably 2 rifles down for the next round because they won't have a lot of cash on hand. But they get the round regardless, and scoreboard-wise, they're looking pretty solid over on IV, and not too bad on Spire either. Spire is just barely not clutching these rounds out. IV still has the potential to get some losses off, but now with a full stack of Vezins, it's looking worse and worse for Spire as we go on.
Yeah, especially with only one Vezin on their squad now in Danger Daniel. Danger Daniel on the bottom of the leaderboard as well, no kills yet. So, maybe, and this is not to criticize, but maybe giving your rifle to your bottom fragger isn't the best idea, but if he has the money and he's able to pull it off, it will certainly be the turnaround of a lifetime. Voids also picking up the Knut, which is a very interesting play and a very funny play. And who knows, maybe we'll see Ivy be blindsided by it, and they could be able to take a point here. It just depends on what happens here in round number 4.
Now pushing straight up towards the hatch. Ivy just really wants to get some definite pushes down. Going for Mutil on stairs. Mr. Hello Speed waiting beside the stairs with an Omen. Hopes to get some quick pushes off. We'll see if a flash comes out. And Proxy gets taken down. He was a bit clumsy, really, on the stairs. Just kind of stood straight in the middle. That's an immediate pickup for Mr. Hello Speed, but gets taken out by Slitzo. But that's an important pickup, as I believe that might be their IGL down. Now, Foam comes through, hoping to pick up the wall.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, but a very pivotal pickup on that kill there. The wall foamed, and now looks like we could be seeing Ivy push in, but Danger Daniel there trying to bait out. a couple of shots, maybe a possible mag dump or something from this Ivy squad. Frag comes out, not gonna do anything. Might tag the Ash for a little bit. We do see 2 trip mines as well in the kitchen area, so they are gonna have to take them out before they advance to plant. And it looks like so far, yeah, Ivy gonna plant in this vending machine corner again as Plunge goes in and takes out 2, leaving Voids and Flares, the last one's left up.
They're stuck in Con as Voids is behind a smoke. Meanwhile, Plunge is watching War Room, does take out Flare. Slitzo maybe wanting to push through, but a Canut. Oh, that's trips that take out Ash. Slitzo info peeking the connector, doesn't see anyone. Voids is just waiting with the Canut, but gets taken out regardless. That reaction time just not kicking in, unfortunately. That's now IVI up 4-0 over Spire. They really don't want to lose any rounds. Seems like they're going for some payback body shots here, and I might as well, honestly, if I was in there, just because, you know, they were shooting bodies before, they were high and mighty, now they're down 0-4. Not great score to have, especially as Valor is fighting Acer. IVI is fighting Spire, and really just getting these rounds off and off and off and off, and not much hope for Spire right now. But this is exactly what we saw with IVI before. Valor was up 4, and then they got 2 rounds and got some rounds off. So if Spire can recreate what IVI did with Valor, it might be a little better for them.
Yeah, and it might make it possible for them to go to Con over F3, depending over what happens in their next match against them next round. But as of right now, we still have this match to worry about. So let's get it started with round number 5. Will Ivy go up 5-0 heading into the last round of the first half, or will Spire make a comeback just like Ivy did a few short rounds ago?
Mr. Hello Speed priming a nade, doesn't quite throw one in. We've got an Incend coming down. And now a nade into storage, potential for a 3K. Barely doesn't take out Ash. If he was a meter back, he would have just died immediately. Now he's especially low. They only had 1 stim, so they don't have much. Actually, they have 2 stims, I believe. Yeah, Ash does get healed up. Some wallbangs coming out on both sides. This Flare is over in Con. Mr. Hello Speed gets hit by a nade, but not taken down. Bit of a stalled push from IV. They thought there would be someone closer to door, most likely, as they were throwing in some flashes and some nades. Now wall gets foamed up. Plunge being very careful with his peaks. Now pushes straight into point. Does get taken down by Flare with the Viper, letting Hello Speed stay anonymous. Hello Speed gets hit by a nade again. Hello Speed still beside Bomb. Nade goes out, trying to block off these players as Hello Speed takes out Proxy. Now a 5v3 favoring the Spire team as Ash is on the door, throwing an incendiary as well. Might seal Ash's fate. That does. Now it is just Slitzo and Swift versus a Spire 5-stack. Not a good situation, especially if Slitzo is outside. Swift does not have a lot of opportunities to pick up any kills. Slitzo pushing into the back line, does take out 1, but doesn't know Danger Daniels there. Swift takes down another. Now it is a 3v2, better situation, but still not ideal, especially with only 50 seconds left on the clock. Slitzo goes down a good bit of health from some wall bangs. That's not great, especially since he does not have a stim. Climbs back outside. Will we see a save? It looks like we may, as we see Swift pushing straight back. Now coming back on through. They really want this round down. Flare almost gets taken down by Swift. Slitzo hoping to push in with the flash. We'll see if he can get it down.
Goes down to Danger Daniel, and now jumps off to Swift, who goes down to Danger Daniel as well. Spire able to take a point, and we could be seeing an Ivy-style comeback. Plague?
We could be. Fantastic pickups from Danger Daniel, taking down both players, and that is IV getting their momentum broken. However, they can all still afford rifles, just barely, but this is going to be where Spire gets to break into rifle range. We can get Voids getting a rifle. We got Danger Daniel, Hello Speed, Hex, and Flare getting rifles. Top floor offense. This might favor IVI overall if they can just get hatch blown and get the cubby down, but this definitely is not as good as they were looking on pistol round or the rounds after. There is a chance, however small, there is a chance for Spire to start getting these rounds off and start tying it up.
It looks like that 4-0 kind of reawakened them, Plague, and now they are ready to fight. Full rifles kitted out on both sides with util as well. This is going to be a close round 6 to end off the first half of round 3 of the VRML Breachers Phoenix Qualifiers.
Match is foamed, ready to blow. There's actually no one in lockers right now. Now Flare rotates out in lockers. IV is pushing back. They do have a clone in lockers. Flare just getting some good sight lines down. A Swift drops into Cubby. Hoping to go for the foam on the wall. Might get wall banked out as well. Foam now down on wall. Ready to blow Cubby wall as the drone gets taken down by Flare. Throwing a nade in as well. Plunge gets taken some health. Not much more. Flare is going to get pushed in on lockers pretty quick, but those trips might save his life as they were not droned out.
Looks like we are going to see Sliso go down to Hex through the wall. Wall is still foamed, so not through yet. We do see the instance come out where the wall was blown closer to A site in the little cubby there. Plunge the only one in that room while the wall finally gets blown. It's a 4 versus 5 in favor of Spire so far, so this could be their chance. The prox alarm goes off, catches Ash, and who is very low, and finally is able to pop a stim to get them back up to full.
Still a good hold over on the Spire side. IVI is pretty spread out currently. They don't have a lot of chances to push in with Flare over on lockers. They really need to put down some magic in order to get into point. Splunge now crosses, going for the plant up on the desk. Not a lot of utility to be able to use from Spire, but they might go for the blind fire. Now EMP is down. It's a race to get to the roof. Swift and Proxy going up onto the roof. They need to start the defuse now over on Spire if they don't want to just lose this round by default. Voids going for the defuse. Swift needs to get that shot down. Now he does. Mr. Hello Speed now has to get the 1v2. Takes down one. One tick on the EMP. Mr. Hello Speed has a daunting task ahead of him. Swift going for some blind fires, but Swift needs to be careful to not get taken down by Mr. Hello Speed. Goes for the fake. Just blind firing out. Swift getting pretty aggressive with his EMP defense. He needs to do something. He drops in. That was a very risky move for Swift, but it works out. And takes down Mr. Hello Speed. Now a 5-1 lead heading into Switch, but that drop could have been the death of him. That might have been a bit of an ego thing.
Yeah, some of these high-level players do like to go for those ego pushes, and sometimes they work out very nicely like they just did. Ivy now up 5-1 against Spire heading into defense. They just need to take 2 more rounds to somewhat solidify their spot in the VRMLCON, on the VRMLCON stage. It's not 100%, obviously, things can still happen. But a 3rd win here gets them pretty darn close to guaranteeing that they will be on stage at VRMLCON 2025.
Pretty darn close indeed. Now, pistol round on Factory, not bad for Ivy, especially here on defense. We've seen them excel at a lot of their pistol rounds. I'm curious if we're going to see a meta or an off-meta push from Spire. We've seen meta so far, but, you know, against previous teams, but against IVI, that might change it up. We've got a hatch hold, potential for possibly... I'm not quite sure what they're going for here. Now they are going for hatch. Looks like maybe just a bit of a late start. Mr. Hello Speed seems to be AFK. Blair throwing in a drone for his team. His Hex is on gravel. A bit of a pub hold here. As Plunge rotates out, does take down Hex. That's a very early pickup for the IV side. Immediately at a 5v4. But it's still not great for IV as they're down a good bit of health, but Plunge can still put some great work in, even at that low of health. Hatch now blown into A. IV set up for their holds, with Proxy just rotating between A and B and Con just in case. Swift and Ash both double stacked, watching the stairs, trying to take down anyone who steps foot in their domain.
And it looks like Mr. Hello Speed may be the first to do so. But he looks like he's going to wait for the rest of his team to come down. Hello Speed and Danger Daniel. Spectrals at the ready. Going to push down the stairs. Are they ready for the onslaught of Ash and Swift? And it looks like they're not going to take any damage after they see the weapon. Frag or some similar goes down. Not going to catch anybody. Danger Daniel still hasn't gone fully downstairs yet. Sleetso and Proxy also waiting on the other side. Plunge able to do a little bit of damage, seemingly, onto Danger Daniel, or a couple of wall bangs from Proxy. Wall now ready to be blown, and it looks like Danger Daniel's going to do it any second. Still, Flare and Void sitting up top on Hatch. waiting for the go-ahead from their teammates to drop in and get the plant. Swift still waiting on the side, as well as Ash, ready to, again, shoot anybody who steps into their domain. Still a lot of leaning here, like play spacing, but play spacing has been removed in this most recent update. Swift takes out Daniel and Hello Speed, leaving just Flare and Voids as the last ones left alive. It's a pistol round, so there's no use saving Plague, and it looks like we're gonna see these two try to conquer the world that is the Ivy Squad.
It is pistol round. I guess there's not really much use in saving. Now Slitzo takes down Flare. It is just Voids up on the hatch. Not a lot of health on IV, but it's more than enough. Voids really has to one-tap all of these players with 12 seconds on the board. That's really just not happening. Takes down Ash, the one full health player on IV, but he's going to have to basically be John Wick coming through these points. Proxy one-handing Voids on the stairs is going to secure IV the 6-1 lead that they wanted heading into our 7th round. Not too bad. Spire now has to get 5 rounds in a row to tie it up. 6 in a row to win.
Yeah, Ivy now guaranteeing at least a tiebreaker and now putting themselves at match point for this round 3 of our round robin here. Spire's got some work to do, Plague. They are sitting on SMGs and little utility right now with not much else to their name, while Ivy is able to buy full kits. It looks like they're buying lots of Cadillos and similar with one Omen and a lot of utility to try to just lock down this final round that they need.
Yeah, 6-1. I don't know, Gravix. I like supporting the underdog sometimes, but this
Me
is
too.
not.
I love a good one.
This is not looking good for Spire, but still overall, I think they can get this done if they just keep at it. We've got a storage push, which is again rough. Storage is, I would say, pretty defensively sided push just because of the amount of util you can dump down range. IVI going for a very aggressive storage hold with Proxy pushing straight up. Hex alone with EMP hits the door, doesn't quite take it out. Looks like we might see a full assembly push other than Danger Daniel over on lobby. This is an interesting one you don't typically see in competitive play with Hello Speed pushing around. Danger Daniel does get taken out immediately on lobby. Hello Speed now directly on the storage door blocker. Hex kind of indecisive. It looks like all of Spire is somewhat indecisive where they want to push.
Yeah, it's the kind of off-meta push you would kind of expect to see from this team, but it looks like they could be going back to storage here, exactly where they started, trying to line up a flash to try to get in. It looks like Hex isn't going to rip it. Frag comes out, or flash comes out, not going to do much as the bullets start flying, and we have ourselves a round number 8, Plague.
Slitzo coming in on the back line. Hopefully there's a flank watch. Doesn't look like there really is. Hex does rotate out a little bit, not much though, as Ash and Slitzo go forward. Flash goes out, Slitzo on the back, but Swift takes out 3, now pushing straight into storage. This is not good, as it's just Hello Speed getting chased into assembly, and that is a 7-1 victory for IV over Spire. Well done to IV. That is going to be the end of round 3 for us here on the stream. We'll be heading into round 4 very, very soon. We'll see you all after a short break in round 3.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point. Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point.
Welcome back, everyone, to the VRMLCON qualifiers for Phoenix, Arizona qualifiers. We're here at the VRML network channel for Acer versus IVI, a matchup as old as Breachers itself, Breachers VRML itself. We do have this on the secondary stream, as both of these teams are basically guaranteed to be going to Con. The real decider here is the matchup on the main stream. F3 versus Spire. Both teams have the potential of being knocked out from being able to participate on stage at Con. So there's a lot riding on that last matchup. But for now, we are here with Acer versus IVNA, going for a pretty standard push, most likely, from the Acer stack onto the hatch. Jet going for it. We do have a Taurus, actually, from Uncle Ron. A bit of a sore spot between these two teams' graphics, I don't know if you remember, as Uncle Ron and Kazex are both transplants from IV.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see these players from these two separate teams go head to head, especially as Acer could possibly get some like insider information on strategies that IVI could be using here. But it's just so that as many I guess original IVI members can get to Con, because both of these teams, if they are in Con, which we're 99% sure that they are, we'll get to see each other and meet up as a full Breachers team, which will be a very nice sight to see, while also being able to play each other in some friendly competition for a lot of money in a pretty hefty VRMLCON prize pool. So we'll see how it turns out right now. Uncle Ron with the Taurus gonna blow out the wall. Nobody's able to be seen yet. And it looks like LFT could be going in with a grenade any second, but so far, a very slow start to this game, Plague.
Yeah, we've smoke going out, just blocking off any sightline from the wall. Uncle Ron taking it slow. Minute 15 on the clock, with Acer still barely having any footholds towards the point. Jet just waiting on a lean up on hatch, with Berserk watching lockers. No flanks from the IVI stack. They're fully committed to holding down on the points. War Room as well, holding down Gravel. Not much that Acer's doing right now. They now throw down some utility onto Con. Slitzo going for a bit of a nade as LFT plants beside the vending machine. Ash pushing up to take out LFT, but EMP goes down just in time. It is now 3v3, but a very bad situation to be in for the IV stack, especially as the rappel onto the window goes down, and then Kazex rotates in on the side. Now that's one player down. Jet pushes down, takes out two. Trying to take down Slitzo, can't quite take him down, but now it is just Berserk who can just slide down at his leisure on the wall. No stim, obviously, here on pistol round, but it doesn't matter. Slitzo takes Berserk down, a good bit of health, but Berserk still has a very good peeker's advantage on the window.
Slitzo gonna have to plant here.
Peeks through, takes him out. He has time to defuse. Ooh, it's Nailbiter.
Ooh.
He gets the defuse!
With 0.5 seconds left on the clock, 0.5!
Well done to Slitzo. That is a fantastic clutch, and Berserk, unfortunately, just barely being a little too impatient to let him continue trying to peek the window. A great clutch, 0.5 second defuse. Well done to Slitzo. That is down to the wire. That's the type of gameplay we want to be seeing from these teams.
This is exactly what we expected out of a star-studded match like this. IV versus Acer, as you said, a tale as old as time in the Breachers VRML. Two of the best teams, some of the best players, and some transplants from the IV squad even coming in to play against each other to land their spot at VRMLCON in Phoenix, Arizona, just a little ways away. It's going to be a very phenomenal event. If you haven't already, buy your tickets. It's all up on the VRMLCON website. If you're able to come last minute, it will be one heck of an event featuring 5 games, I'm pretty sure. This, along with Veil, Onward, Pavlov, and the newly open beta Orion Drift, which will be all of Sunday's activities. But time at hand, we still don't know who is going to be playing on stage for Breachers, representing the Breachers VRML. So, let's head into round number 2 here, Plague. Acer starting off pretty scattered on the outside of Factory.
Yeah, we've got a scattered push. Looks like we have stairs pushing down towards lobby. Berserk shooting out the storage door, but not going in. LFT droning somewhat out in the open. If they were against a team like Valor, I might be concerned for LFT for a lean out, but when it comes to Acer, they're a little more cautious with their leans, I would say. Ash does take out Uncle Ron, who was pushing in from lobby. Can't quite get anyone else, but Jet can't get the refrag either. IV goes up. A player now heading into the latter half of this round. LFT just watching his flank, holding on to EMP. Prox goes off near Jet, which is going to give some information for the IV stack as Slitzo is on a lean. Ooh, he does get faked out by the gun pushing up. We do not have any Vezins so far, but we do have an Aril or two over on IV, which is going to give them a bit of an edge on gunplay.
But we'll see if it's enough to take out this Acer squad. Obviously, they have 2 SMGs here and 2 pistols. So, we'll see what happens. SMGs, obviously, high rate of fire, less damage. Typical FPS stuff. 2 members going down already. Jet with a refrag. LFT refrag to Ash as well. So now, leaving it down to a 2v3. LFT kind of caught in his own little corner here as Berserk waits for the smoke to dissipate and tries to get somebody from the window. LFT gonna throw out a smoke as well onto this instant. Swings around, takes Proxy. Pushes into A-site, gets the EMP on the wall, takes out Slitzo. Leaving it down to a 1v2. LFT trying to take out Swift. But we'll see if he's able to. Slows down. LFT with a smoke, takes out one. Berserk with the refrag, ties up the game, giving a point to Acer.
Well done to the Acer stack for the refrags, and especially keeping their cool. We saw those clutch kills from Acer that allowed them to really just take down the players who are pushing up on the 3v2. We've seen some great kills on both sides so far, and we're going to continue to see it. I hesitate to guess who's going to win, honestly. On Factory, this could go anyone's game, and especially, you know, normally in a match, you have some time for both teams to play together, to get each other's play styles down again, you know, any new plays to combat them, but when it's one map, you know, anything that happens to you unlucky, anything that happens out of your control, you know, it just hurts so much more. We saw that on Valor versus Acer when we had one of their players disconnect and the bot picked up EMP and just, unfortunately, just got taken down.
Which one thing about Breachers is that is wonderful is that there isn't much RNG. It is all skill-based, so it is all just about how well these players can play. Outside of the possibility of someone dropping and there being a bot, but in typical round-to-round gameplay, there's not much RNG in effect outside of, like, where the bombs are positioned and what sites you're playing on. So that is really the only randomness that is in this game, and that's exactly what these players need to combat is each other and their play styles. Going into round number 3 here, Acer are going to be pushing the meta push seemingly on Blue Stairs.
Looks like we do have some backliners on IV, though. They've got a 3-person hold on lockers currently. Swift and Slitzo holding on lockers. Meanwhile, Proxy was doing some blind fires through the wall, but now goes back towards point. We do see Swift and Slitzo very boldly kind of just sticking straight into lockers, making some noise. Wall is foamed on the Cubby. A wall is also foamed, I believe, as Cubby gets pushed in on by LFD. They want to go for a cheeky plant, but there are 2 incendiaries in hand for Proxy, which he's going to use to deny that plant as soon as he can. Ooh, 1 incendiary onto the back line does go down. We do see some counter utility being used as Ash goes down to half, but Swift takes down LFT. EMP is dropped. That's going to disrupt the momentum for the Acer stack as they tried to go through with Jet getting a nade down. That's lockers getting pushed down as Cubby gets pushed again, but gets taken down when they get EMP. Now Uncle Ron alone trying to go for the plant, with Plunge and Slitzo having to deny it. We see Slitzo on the back line. Nade will go down, not take out Uncle Ron, and a flash will flash himself, but now it's a race to the ceiling, race to the roof again as Kha'Zix gets onto the roof as well as Berserk. Plunge having to defend his teammate, and they're just going for some blind fires. There's not really much of a chance, and yeah, there's not really much of a chance to get that off if you're IV. That is basically a free round for Acer once they get that EMP down and they get up onto the roof.
Yep, that hatch spot is pretty darn overpowered when you plant in that exact spot in a site. So Acer just playing the meta strategy. As soon as you can get up onto that roof as the enforcers, you're kind of set for the rest of the round. We saw it last time as well with Valor and Spire, where we saw actually somewhat of an ego peak coming down from that hash, as it was pretty darn close to see what was going to happen. But right there, Acer had their sights locked down and were able to take the round, and now up 2-1, which isn't much of a lead, especially against this Ivy sack, just because both of these teams are so evenly matched.
I did just check in on the Spire F3 match. They're also playing on Factory currently. So this is going to be...
Another double Factory.
Yeah, so far, I don't know if folks have been tuning in the whole time, so I'll just say it. We've only played on Ship and Factory. Every other map has been banned every time.
That seems to be classic Breaches VRML players. They want to play the maps they know best and the maps that are seemingly the most competitively viable to play on. So, unfortunately, to my dismay, we will most likely not be seeing Maul. If anybody picks Maul in round 5, I'll be very happy. But seemingly we're not going to be seeing any Maul games today, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see another Shipper Factory in this final round 5. But right now, at hand, round 4 of the round robin. Already AWOL foamed up on Orange Stairs side. Uncle Ron pops it, and we are fully in this.
Fleetso in Con, along with Proxy, LFT and Uncle Ron, hoping to push up, getting some utility down. Going for a bit of a quick plant, but LFT doesn't have EMPs, but stopped here on his push. No trips on the ceiling. Will deny LFT, but again, EMP is stuck up on roof. That is a big delay for the IVI stack. That's all their utility now gone. LFT gets taken down. He unfortunately got delayed quite a bit by the loss of the EMP. That's what you don't want to see. We've seen this from a few teams where they just lose the EMP and lose everything from there. Ash pushes out, takes out Jet Berserk, maybe trying to pursue, but with the EMP in hand, might be better to go to the rest of his team. IV still down 2-1, but they're up on players pretty handily. But you can't count Acer out just yet.
Right now, again, just some slow gameplay from both sides. Sleetso holding corners with Proxy, Ash running around. Still 5 left up for Ivy, 3 for Acer as Uncle Ron finally gets in, but the utility run thin. Actually, not necessarily run thin for both sides, but it's being used sparingly. EMP comes down from above. Uncle Ron goes down before the frag and amount trades. Berserk goes down, grabs the EMP, tries to get a couple of shots off, takes one, but the refrag from Ash on Quest leaves Kha'Zix as the last one up for Acer. No EMP in hand, swings around, and Ash able to get the frag and take the second point for Ivy, tying it up in round 4. And yeah, this is going to be a really close match, Blake. I wouldn't be shocked if we head to overtime.
I would not be either, especially because both these teams are fighting it out. This is a bit of a grudge match, I would say. It feels maybe like a bit of a league match for them. You know, they've had some battles over the whole season. They want to have some battles over lands. This may be a bit of a feeler, a bit of a check of like, can we do this? Can we compete? And what's their strategy looking like for land? I'm curious what strategies any of these teams really are hiding to try to use solely at land to really just surprise these teams and get any advantage they can live on stage, especially with the place-based meta being basically just evaporated. There's a big power vacuum that I feel like some teams can fill by getting some good strategies going.
Yeah, play spacing being nuked is an entirely massive meta change going into VRMLCON, so I am honestly kind of here for it. I want to see how these teams adapt, and this is kind of just a sneak peek of what we'll be seeing at our Saturday, I'm pretty sure, event at VRMLCON.
Let's see. Now heading straight through. We do have some wall bangs. Janitor being held pretty carefully by Ash. Round 5. We still aren't at switch just yet, but we're getting close as storage gets pushed in on by Jet from the other door. We're seeing also a assembly push by LFT onto the back line. Might take out Ash if Ash isn't careful, as he's not really looking. He might cross blinds directly in front of LFT. He does indeed. LFT takes him down. That's a free Vezin in hand for LFT. That is a fantastic pickup for the Acer stack. And IV is still not down any players, but they're very much down a rifle now. As Slitzo takes out Jet, Proxy takes out Kha'Zix. That is now a reversal of fate, a 4-2 player potential here for the sides, as LFT is stuck in back near the assembly with a rifle in hand. Not a great situation to be in, as Berserk does take down one. This is still winnable, but it is not a good situation to be in if you're Acer.
Yeah, down 2-3 against Ivy is going to be a pretty tough deficit to come back to, especially with not much utility on you. Berserk, the only one with a type of grenade. LFT only with the healing syringe. Right now, we see Slitzo possibly getting pressured by LFT, but it looks like he's going to rotate as Berserk is on the literal other side of the map. I have no idea what Acer's doing here, but it seems like a save to try to save the rifles they have in hand here.
Going for some utility. Berserk now inside the A point. Does have EMP, but he doesn't have anyone to defend him currently. EMP now goes down. Berserk is going to get most likely incend out. Now it is down. Plunge pushes around, gets taken out, but Berserk does get taken out in return, and then Proxy on the flank. It looks like they did get taken out. Slitzo, I think, takes out Plunge. Sorry, Slitzo. Gosh. Slitzo takes out the last member of Acer, and that is going to be IV, up 3-2. That was looking good for Acer when they got the rotate off, but they just barely couldn't finish it out. Looking good for IVI so far.
Yeah, IVI able to take a small lead here. Let's see if Acer can follow up in the last round of the half. Obviously, both teams able to pretty much ball out eco-wise, even though we do see a couple of small rifles coming out of Ivy, specifically out of Swift. We are going to see that Cadillo, or yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the Cadillo. But some smaller rifles coming out of Acer here, or out of Ivy here, as Acer able to full buy, full eco with their Vezins and gadgets and gizmos in hand.
And I just got word that it looks like F3 won against Spire 7-1. So F3 looks to be very much trying to make it to the con. That just leaves Acer IVI heading towards the end of these rounds. We've still got a whole nother half to do, so I'm getting a bit ahead of themselves over there, really.
Yeah, obviously this map's probably going to be one of the closest we see in this round robin tournament. We did see some 7-5s in the first round, but Acer versus Ivy, this is truly the cream of the crop. I mean, what else could you expect from these two championship level teams?
Yeah, we're seeing some drone-ins over on lockers. Plunge, Swift, and Slitzo all inside lockers going for a very aggressive hold. Meanwhile, Ash is downstairs hoping to really just get some good shots off. Onkaran wants to push into point. They do see the clone. I'm curious what the plant is. Sorry, what the plan is here for Acer. They're down a round. They're not down too much on economy. They're actually up just a little bit as they're on full rifles. Meanwhile, there is an Aril on the side of IV with Swift. So they could honestly get some good gunplay going. We do see a flank watch from Berserk will come into play, but Ash takes him down before Berserk can get any shots, really, that are decisive. And then Ash just, goes back to the rest of his team. Cubby looks likely, obviously, as LFT pushes through, takes out Slitzo on lockers, and takes out the clone as well. We might see a cheeky plant from LFT, not on Cubby, possibly, but over on the entrance of point, over near Uncle Ron. That might be the play, because teams are expecting the Cubby plant now, but it looks like they're just pre-nading all the way through while Ash can get into lockers. Ash now has a good spot on lockers. LFT has to contend with that lockers hold, which is not a good plan. 50 seconds on the clock. Acer does not have a lot to work with, but they can still get this down.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as this instant kind of lets up, it's very possible for LFT to kind of sneak in here and get this plan. If his team is covering him, Proxy gonna swing around, goes down to Jet. Swift tries to take out a few. Another swing, not gonna happen, and now we're in plant. Race to the roof is in action, and it looks like Kha'Zix gonna get there just in time, and it doesn't matter. Uncle Ron takes out Ash, the roamer from before, and it is tied 3-3. Going into the second half, Plague. This is one hell of a match.
And we saw some fantastic post-plant and, you know, just during plant actions there from the rest of Acer. You know, they were trying to get the plant down, and they wanted to defend the rest of their team. So they went and they were sitting there with the incendiary. We saw two players from IV trying their hardest, walking straight through an incendiary, and still not really able to get the player down because of the great defense from Acer.
Yeah, Acer just able to keep up and keep it held now on defense, so we'll see what happens. I think it's still going to be close, and honestly, I think my prediction is still that we are going to go to a tiebreaker.
I think so, honestly, because this is just the end of the first half. Looks like probably mainstream is going to have a little bit of twiddling their thumbs possibly over there while we keep going.
They better be tuning into this one, because this is one heck of a game. Round number 7 here for the Breachers VRMLCON Phoenix Qualifiers. Brad comes out, not going to do anything. A pretty gutsy move coming out of Jet, but it's not going to do much to this Ivy squad, who's going to push directly into Warehouse here, and we're going to be seeing a seemingly meta push coming out of Ivy.
Yeah, we're seeing a meta push on the storage from the IV stack as Swift gets up on the box. Ash hoping to just watch the door, maybe rotating over to hopefully take a look at Connector. LFT will have something to say about it if he does. Jet on a very nice lean from the con is going to be maybe spelling some hurt for Ash. Gets AMP in hand, wants to push in, can't quite get there. Now throws it in a smoke in to block off Jet, but he knows someone's there. Ash gets counter incendiary. That's a double incendiary taking him down. LFT knows they have EMP now. That's a really bad situation for IV as Berserk takes down their back line. It is just Plunge and Swift having to watch their own back end. Plunge and Swift in storage against Jet, Kha'Zix, and Berserk as Jet rotates towards Connector. He's in a good position with a lean. Swift tries to take him down, can't quite do it as Berserk gets up behind the bomb. Swift takes out Jet, and then Plunge takes down Berserk. Now it is just Kha'Zix pushing out towards storage, wants to take down Plunge. Finds Plunge, now has to find Swift. Swift has to get the EMP down or take him down, and Swift takes down Kha'Zix. That is going to be a 4th round for IV, swinging pistol round in their favor.
And also planting that EMP for just that little bit of extra economy. Gonna give them a good boost, and possibly, if they really wanted to, let them buy some low-tier rifles and SMGs this round, which would be pretty dang good for Ivy, especially in a game against Acer. They're so evenly matched in gunplay that the physical guns matter a whole lot more than most other matchups, in my opinion. So having this eco advantage is huge for the Ivy squad, while Acer is still kind of squandering on SMGs and kind of blowing their whole budget out on them.
Yeah, they're still going here, trying to... I don't know, it's a bit rough for Acer here. They're on defense. They really have to get some plays going, and they don't have a lot of money to do it. Acer has been going for some buys, getting taken down, and IV looks to be in a good situation so far. And Gravix, when it comes to this matchup, it feels like Acer has been pretty dominant, but IV has had a great plan throughout this entire game so far. I think they could get this out strategy.
Yeah, if they're able to out-strategize Acer here, and with that little bit of gunmanship, they're able to outshoot them as well, I think it could swing to Ivy favor, but it's all going to be in the hands of what happens in probably these next 2 rounds here, because once they get up to 5-6 points, I think Ivy could have that could be a very commanding lead against Acer, but they could always come back. Call him William Afton, the way that any team could always come back in the Breachers VRML.
Swift blows hatch. Round after pistol round, we do see some SMGs in hand for Acer. We do see some Barils in hand for the IV stack. They're hoping to push their advantage. LFT straight up on hatch, wants to get some cheeky picks off. Now directly under the hatch is a bold move that doesn't pay off, but also doesn't hurt them much. They don't get much information. But they don't get hit at all either. Ash hoping to just get some foam down onto the wall. Now wall is foamed. LFT is waiting directly beside wall. May want to push straight out if he can help it. He's ready and primed right on that wall, just waiting for it to blow impatiently. Now he's back up on the table. We do see Plunge up on hatch along with Swift. They're watching their back line. Meanwhile, Proxy is on gravel, hoping to take out Jet, who's going to be watching from the door. Could be a good idea. Uncle Ron is going into bathroom, however. Might catch him unawares as well.
Wall is blown, and immediately we see a dump of utility incidents everywhere. Smoke grenade as well. Flash comes out. LFT not blinded. They're going to take a little bit of damage. Sleetso able to, in the chaos, get the EMP planted in between the vending machines. Kazak's going to swing out and immediately take out one. Sleetso not able to get the refrag just yet, but they are in eventually. Uncle Ron as well going to swing out and get the refrag. LFT now sitting on site. Swift and Plunge gonna have to make a gutsy move to drop in.
Ooh,
and they immediately get
what a
by Uncle
clutch.
Ron, leaving LFT to defuse and tie up the game for Acer. I honestly can't believe how close this is.
I will say, I think the issue there for IV is they went for the plant on the vending machine, but they didn't think about the fact that Acer could just defuse it without them watching, so they had to go for a drop. And that's the disadvantage. Neither of them went to the window to drop down and watch it from the window. They had to both drop from hatch. They had no time.
Yeah, I mean, they had to... Everybody always thinks about the plant, and they never think about the defuse unless you're in a meta spot to defuse, like A site on second floor or whatever it was. Actually, it's A site on this floor here. So... it's really important that you're also thinking about the defuse, because you can plant and vending machine crowd all you want, but if you're not defending that plant, they can just defuse. It takes about 20 to 30 seconds to defuse, so if you're able to allow them that time, and they have two members up to be able to counter you, you need to have some insane gunplay and know exactly where they are, or you're kind of screwed.
Exactly. Now, it looks like IV is probably just going to be forming up for another push like this, but this is going to be the third time this plant has been tried in this map alone. It's just that strong of a plant. Uncle Ron going for an extremely, extremely aggressive hold here on lockers. Looks like he was pinged out by a drone, I believe. Not sure where the drone was. He got pinged out, but not sure where that was that he got pinged. Looks like we do have Swift now dropping in. Does get flashed out by his own team, but it goes away quick enough. LFT on close right, trying to just push through, but can't quite get it done. A good cubby hold from the IV stack, but Plunge gets a nade directly to his feet. Will get taken out as Kha'Zix gets taken out in return by Swift. That's a Vezin down. Swift now claims a Vezin for himself. That's a great pickup for his team. Now, instead of being down on guns, they're now full up on Vezins. It's a good situation to be in for them. However, Zerk is a bit of a wild card back behind file cabinets. And they don't have much utility to flush him out without having to just not be able to defend the EMP.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens here. Just neither of the walls foamed up yet, so I'm not 100% sure where they're gonna push, because the cubby hasn't been pushed, and the wall and the A wall hasn't been pushed yet. So it looks like we're kind of just waiting for this bathroom to be cleared. LFT sitting in line in the bathroom, swings up onto the mirrors as they step forward. Swift able to take him out and gets the kill onto one. This could be the push that Ivy wants to push over towards cubby again. As you said, Berserk still sitting behind file cabinets, and Jet still sitting behind the containers by connector here. So, still very possible for Acer to make a comeback. But right now, Ivy in a pretty good position, up 4-3 player count.
Now throwing an incendiary out. Berserk is a bit exposed here behind the filing cabinets. Gets out just in time to avoid the incendiary to his feet, as we do see smoke get thrown into point. We do see they want to get into the cubby and plant, but Proxy is not in a primo position to do so. Flash goes in, Jet goes in as well to cubby. Takes out Proxy, hopes to take out another, takes out Swift. That's a 2K for Jet. Now they hold EMP and hold a Vezin. One gets picked off, Ash gets the refrag onto Berserk. But now it is just Ash has to take down both of these players within 2 seconds. That is Acer now up 5-4 over IV here on this round. We have round 9 heading towards round 10. I'm curious what these players are going to do. We don't have a great idea, but IV is slowly slipping their economy away, and Acer is slowly improving their economy over time.
And with these two teams, as I said earlier, economy is everything to these teams. We are going to see a lot more utility coming out of Acer, which is going to be pretty helpful on defense side of walling out Ivy from getting the plants that they so desperately need. And especially with a full stack of Vezins and one Cadillo against the Ivy's squad of SMGs, Cadillos, and a Spectral coming out of Sleet. So it's going to be tough for them to come back, but I think it is very, very possible the way these two teams have been playing. After all, if we're going to see anything, it's most likely going to be Ivy coming back with the point there, just because of the statistics and trends we've been seeing in this map.
Yeah, and looking at the records here, I think we pretty much, because of that last game, because of F3 winning versus Spire 7-1, I think we have our con roster, our con qualifiers here, but there is a potential for Spire to really clutch out a win against Acer. They'd have to pretty much go 7-0 versus Acer, which, as we know, is not a very likely scenario, but it could happen. Now, heading into this round, LFT and Kha'Zix both on point, Jet in con as well. Acer hoping to go for a very decisive hold onto the point as Proxy rotates over to blow the wall. Can't quite get any shots off. LFT just rotating through, trying to get any little shots off he can. Can't quite do it. Now, putting some shots through the wall, nearly takes out Ash, but luckily it was wallbang body shots, not headshots, so it's not too bad, especially with the stem. Ash getting some health back. Gravix, we're seeing them try to push through. They're getting stagnant a little bit as LFT takes out Ash. That's an important pickup. I don't know what they can do at this point.
Yeah, they're just walled out by the utility I was talking about earlier. This is exactly what I mentioned in the pre-round. Sleetso with the EMP goes down. Proxy tries to pick it back up. Swift. Oh, frag comes out from the window. Not going to do much, but Jet able to get the frag through the wall, through the smoke to the head of Proxy. And that leaves Acer at a 5-2. Ivy at a 2-player deficit, and they might just want to save here because their economy already not in the best shape, and just losing more players would just tank them even further. So being able to save 2 small rifles here for 45 seconds might be the best case scenario, and it seems that's exactly what's going to happen.
Possibly so. Either that, Gravix, or there might be a rotate in the works with Swift heading around towards B, but it looks like there is just, yeah, it's just going to be a roof save. While we have that going, looking at the challenge bracket right now, we do have currently Acer and Ivy are playing, so they're going to beat Demo, but Valor's played 4, won 3-1. They're guaranteed to go to Con at this point. They can't be knocked out. As well as F3, there's a very they at this point can't be knocked out because their point difference between themselves and the point difference between themselves and Spire. Spire is at -11 currently. Formula 3 is at 4, so unfortunately Spire can't claim enough points to bring them back. So it's going to be most likely Acer, Valor, IVI, F3, but I may also be seeing it wrong. We could see if Spire can clutch this out and get some more points down, they may pull out a really surprise victory against Acer.
Very well possible. Again, anything can happen in the Breachers VRML, especially after Acer could be getting gassed out by this Ivy squad here. They might be tired. They might not be playing at their peak, but if they want to play at VRMLCON, that's exactly what they are going to have to get used to. Already seeing an eco surplus on the ground here for the Ivy squad. We see a bunch of flashes and grenades and etc. on the ground here, and it seems like they're going to try their hardest to disrupt this Acer squad, who is kitted out the wazoo and is 1 point away from taking a victory over Ivy in this round number 11.
Clone gets pinged out by the Ivy stack. From the Acer stack, we do see Uncle Ron over in lobby take out Ash on quest immediately. That's a early pickup for Acer. Proxy sets off a proxy, as it may be. So that will allow the Acer stack to get more information as well. We're seeing IV extremely split up currently. They can't really get each other's refrag. Swift can't refrag Proxy. Proxy's now alone. Gets taken. Ooh, takes out Uncle Ron instead of getting taken out. We do see Berserk upstairs, hoping to rotate around. They don't know if anyone's there. Plunge is on flank watch pretty heavily. Acer needs to not get overconfident. They just need to get some good rounds down. We're seeing Assembly push, I believe by Sleetso over on the other side. If Berserk takes that one, but gets refragged by Proxy, that's going to be a 3v3. However, Sleetso is alone all the way in Assembly, and he does not have foam, so he can't blow the wall he can't blow the wall the rest of his teammates. He has to go the long way, all the way around to his team, which does not bode well for how much time they have on the clock.
Only 1 minute left, and they still have to get in and plant. Swift extremely low HP and no stims in sight unless they're able to find one on a looted body. Oh, he had 2 at his feet. Never mind. I am stupid. He is now able to heal up to full. So both teams now with 3 players up to full. One immediately goes down. LT takes out Proxy just before the smoke is thrown, and Sleetso takes a heavy chunk of damage as well. Nobody with EMP, and it looks like Swift is going to have to grab it. Doesn't get hit by the incendiary grenade. And it now looks like we're going to have to wait until Ivy's able to push in. Frag goes out, not going to do anything, as LFT watching this blown out wall, and Swift and Sleetso trying to wait to probably get through this other wall here through this doorway. Jet takes out one, and Kha'Zix takes the other. Acer taking their win over Ivy and guaranteeing their spot on the VRMLCON stage in just a few weeks in Arizona.
Well done to the Acer stack. Now heading through close to our 5th round, but we're going to be back after a very short break. This was the last one of the round, so we're back to a very short break with our 5th round. We'll see you all then.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy. Getting the 2K.
Match point. Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point.
Welcome back, everyone, to the stream here on Stream B for the VRMLCON qualifiers. Bit of an update. We were going to be watching Spire versus Acer. However, it looks like Spire has dropped out of the qualifiers, as unfortunately they could not get enough points to qualify for the con. So we do have our competitors here for the con. We'll have Acer, Valor, IVINA, and F3 all competing at the con. But we do still have the main stream going, and we will be having Formula 3 versus Valor, a bit of an exhibition match, I would say, to go watch. So make sure you all go tune into that. But that is it for us over here on Stream B. Make sure you all make it out to the VRMLCON 2025 qualifiers over in Phoenix, Arizona. Sorry, the con, not the qualifiers, the con in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be super, super fun. I hope to see you all there. I'll be there, and a good few other casters will too. I'm super excited. Before we sign off for the night, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. First of all, we have Breachers, Triangle Factory, who created Breachers and a few other games that we really enjoy. They've been great to work with. They've provided $5,000 prize pool for the VRMLCON 2025 for Breachers, so it's going to be a super, super interesting thing to watch. They've been great to work with. They've also designed the VRML official skins, such as the beautiful finalist skins you were seeing throughout the matches for past seasons, along with the VRML official skin for 150 credits in the shop. Please go and support them if you can. They are a great team to work with and some great games to play. Additionally, we have HyperX for providing peripherals for your PC, for your headset, and everything in between. They have headsets, microphones. I know a lot of the casting team uses HyperX products. We have Bob using a mic, and I believe headphones. We have Nightfire using a HyperX mic. I've used HyperX stuff before. It's been they have great people to work with. They have a code on the website and in the description for HyperX. Go get your discounts going right now. We also have ProTube for your gun stock needs. They have some great gun stocks for your headset to up your game when it comes to your shooters. Lastly, the sponsor that I really want to thank overall every time, do it every time, and I have to because it's so important, is you, the viewer, for watching. If you weren't here supporting us, if you weren't here watching these teams play and, just really participating, we couldn't keep the lights on. We couldn't keep doing what we enjoy doing, just talking to all of you, keeping you updated on all of the news in the community and all of the things that are happening overall. It's been fantastic to be here with you all tonight and just to have you all here and getting ready for the con. I hope to see a lot of you at the con, I'll be there, and just come up to the casting booth and we'll have some introductions, get a handshake, everything like that. It'll be really, really fun. That's going to be it.
If you're not able to make it out to the con, like I am, unfortunately I won't be there, but if you're not, be sure to tune into the streams. Every single event of VRMLCON will be live streamed right here to VRML Network, so don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, all of the classic YouTube stuff. If you haven't already liked the stream, helps us a ton, and be sure to tune back in for VRMLCON in just a few weeks. You'll be able to watch it right here live if you're not in the venue in person.
Yeah, it's going to be super, super exciting. Before we sign off for the night, Gravix, do you have any closing thoughts here on the matches we saw or the teams we saw?
I think I've already kind of said it already. Thank you all so much for being a wonderful community, and I personally will see you all next season for the Breachers VRML.
And I'll see you all at Con. Hope you have a great rest of your night.
Breachers VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager, Triangle Factory. Thanks for watching VRML.